Radiothon underway for the Support the Enlisted project. Linda, I was looking at our website, kogo.com, and when it first comes up, the kind of the rotating picture that's got the link that people can click on to make a donation to Support the Enlisted project, it pops up, and I see that they gave you kind of the forefront of the picture.
Yes, I saw that.
And we have the smartest digital department, don't we? They go, it doesn't really matter if Merrill's the host because really this is all about visual. Let's go ahead and put him as far back in this picture as we can because his abnormally large head is probably going to take up too much space. So then they said...
Your head actually looks smaller than mine.
That's because we've got you up front, which is wise because, frankly, nobody's gone to the website to see what I look like.
Sure they have.
Oh, baloney. Baloney. They look at that and they go, oh, my God, I have more hair than him. But you look amazing. Kogo.com. It's the very first picture that pops up when you load Kogo.com. And the Radiothon is underway. Joining me in the studio, actually, from the Support the Enlisted project, I'm joined by a couple of the bigwigs, the peeps, the ones that keep everything going here. We've got Carla Winter-Schultz and Tony Teravainen. I just cleared this up. You've got one of those multiple syllable names, which throws me, my man. Throws me. Guys, thanks so much for coming in. I know it's an early morning for you, and I hope that you had all the donuts you could possibly put down at 5 o'clock in the morning there in the green room. So I appreciate you being in here, and we're excited. Can I just say on behalf of the radio station, we are so honored and excited to be able to do the Radiothon today and really work with you guys and try to raise some funds for the Support the Enlisted project. Carla, let's start with you here because you're the president of STEP. You've been involved in nonprofits for... You're like 30 years, right? You've been doing nonprofit work. So what is it now with STEP as you look forward? What is it that you hope to have happen as we get close to the end of 2013? What is it you hope to see happen in 2014?
We want to just continue to keep supporting as many enlisted families in financial crisis as possible.
What is the demand? Is the demand growing? Is it getting better? Is the economy slowly picking up? What kind of demand do you see?
I don't know necessarily that the economy has a lot to do with their need. It's more based on their pay being dropped into San Diego and our high cost of living, in that they're finding themselves in a financial crisis every now and again without the funds to take care of those unexpected crises that happen.
Tony Teravainen is the board of directors chairman, and Tony, you obviously served, and thank you for your service. We appreciate that. What is it that you see most common that people are in need of when financial crisis strikes or emergency? What is it that the enlisted members really need the most when hard times strike?
Yeah, what we're seeing, unfortunately, is food support is what we're seeing. They try to pay their bills the best they can and get all that taken care of, and the last thing to fill up is the cupboards. And that is our probably number one. We'll do anywhere between 40 and 60 food assistances per month to family assistance.
What is the thinking on that? If you're an enlisted person, you've got all these other bills. I suppose you probably think, well, I could eat fewer calories, but I have to have the power on. I have to have transportation to get to work. My kid needs diapers, right? I mean, is that what happens? They kind of put themselves last?
They'll do that, and they have to take care of their other obligations. And the active duty military people that we serve, they'll actually, there's repercussions for them for not being able to pay their bills.
Like what?
I think.
Is military discipline if you're late on things? Is that what happens?
They can't be a deadbeat citizen. They have to still try to be a good citizen and good steward of their money and the county. So they'll pay their bills. They work to pay their bills. But we see that in the active duty and the transition assistance veterans that we support, the people that have recently discharged from the military. We continue to support them for 12 months after their discharge, and that still, again, is the highest thing we see. That, and then second behind that probably is housing support, keeping them in their houses. Cars break down, they can't make it in, and then probably the fourth one I would say would be major appliances. When their refrigerator breaks, when their stove breaks,
sure,
they don't have the money, the extra money. These guys are all one fridge breakdown from financial calamity.
From being completely broke. And what did you say, 40 to 60 requests a month you get from people that just need a little extra food to get through the week? Is that about what it is?
No, we're 90 to 60.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
60, 90, yeah. Wow.
91 was the largest month we saw this past summer.
Is that right?
Yeah, 91 requests for assistance from just the San Diego our local.
So it's a lot more prevalent than what people maybe think is happening out there.
It's all around everybody.
All right, guys, sit tight here. I want to be able to talk with you a little bit more at 5:21. We'll do that. I do want to recap some of the top stories. We got a Poway girl that's arrested for making terrorist threats. The Carlsbad city manager has resigned his $220,000 a year job because of an unspecified personnel matter. And a super typhoon hitting the Philippines right now. They say this may be one of the strongest storms ever on Earth.
Ever.
Well, it's global warming, It's going to kill us all.
Well, they were looking at the winds, saying that it was like 195 mile an hour sustained winds.
Oh.
Compare that to Katrina, 120.
Oh!
And how bad was that?
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll talk more about that as the program goes on. We'll also continue to devote more of our time to supporting the enlisted. If you want to make a donation to STEP, go online to Kogo.com, click on Linda's pretty face, and then you can make a donation right there. The donation form is super easy to fill out. It's secure and everything else you need. You can also call STEP, and it's a number that we'll be giving out throughout the day, and you can also find it on our website at Kogo.com. It's 858-695-6810. 858-695-6810. Patrice Sikora, the Wall Street Journal, going to tell you just how much you made yesterday on your Twitter investment. That's at 5:21, and more with the Support the Enlisted project on the Voice of Maryland.
News Radio 600 Kogo. Available anywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Go to Kogo.com and download it now.
The Voice of Maryland News Radio 600 Kogo. The Support the Enlisted Project Radiothon continues. We're going to talk a little more here in about 5 minutes with our guests in studio, Carla Winter-Schultz and Tony Teravainen. I'm going to get your last name right there, my friend, before the end of the program. I swear I've got 4 hours to practice it. We're going to talk with them in a moment. I want to check on Wall Street first. Patrice Sikora is there. Patrice, we're doing kind of a cool deal here with Support the Enlisted Project. They kind of pick up the slack when some of our enlisted members fall on some hard times.
Excellent.
But now I see this is, it works out, I suppose, well for our push for people to go to Kogo.com and make a donation. But it doesn't work out well for our military when I see that the housing allowance being cut. What's going on?
Well, it could be cut. We've got these automatic federal budget cuts that are coming, and unfortunately, it could mean the military families see cuts to their housing allowance.
Oh,
Secretary of Defense Hagel, he raised the possibility over the summer. He said there could be changes in the way the allowance is calculated. It's adjusted every year, and the thing is, these families, they rely on this housing allowance in many cases, and so do landlords who rent to these families. Yeah, so the thing is here, they're saying, well, it could happen, but we don't know how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. These people need to know. They need to know if it's going to happen.
Well, they got to try to plan how to do it.
Exactly.
And the other thing too is if they make a cut to housing allowance in Fort Benning, that's one thing. But a housing cut in San Diego, which is one of the highest cost of living, and one of the highest military concentrations of people. Well, that makes a big doggone deal here, doesn't it?
Yep. And of course, these allowances vary. They vary by rank, by geographic location, and whether there are dependents. But it doesn't matter. In the long run, you're right. It's going to get cut. It's going to affect everybody in the market.
Patrice Sikora from the Wall Street Journal. Twitter IPO opened yesterday. I took all of my wife's 401k, which I did before for Facebook, too. And I did like you recommended. I bought high and sold low.
Mm-hmm.
And
it works for taxes.
Yeah. So I would so much rather make money than write off. That's the thing.
Well, listen, if you'd bought Facebook back then and you just hung on to it, you'd be doing okay now.
Right. Well, then I'd have to pay more taxes.
This is true.
And we don't want to do that, right?
That's right. Twitter, though, had a pretty smooth sailing yesterday. Of course, they weren't on the NASDAQ. They're on the NYSE.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did okay. Began trading without incident. The IPO share price, $26. They closed at $44.90.
So that's up significantly. Now, who makes out on that, though? That's the institutional investors, isn't it?
Most of these are the institutional investors, the big, the underwriters. They got first crack at everything. The next couple of days, then we'll see how things really shake out.
And then,
and I don't know if it's worth it to buy it or not. You got to go talk to the analysts. They're saying, well, where's the revenue? Where's the business plan here?
Well, this is a tough one because what are you investing in? You're investing in virtual
140 characters.
That's it. That's an awful lot per character, isn't it?
Yeah.
And right now, if you wanted to buy, you'd be buying at what, $44.90 it closed at? So you'd be
$44.90, yeah.
Could be paying $45, $46 today. That's nutty.
Or you could be paying $26.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, sit tight on that.
Yeah.
Disney said what? Disney's doing all right, but
Star
Wars
Disney had a Disney had a gangbuster fiscal year. Their year just ended. They had record earnings, record revenue, third time in a row that's happened. But they pushed back the release date of Star Wars Episode 7.
Why?
Bad Disney.
Bad Disney.
Bad Disney.
Oh,
it was supposed to come out in the summer of 2015. Now it's going to come out in December of 2015. They think they just need a little more time to really make it a good movie. But they also have this new deal for their Marvel superhero unit. They are going to produce 4 new 13-episode series and a miniseries for Netflix.
Oh, boy.
Yes. And
Now,
that'll be in 2015 as well.
How much does a place like Disney say, if we push this Star Wars 7 release to the middle of December, we're going to get a huge box office hit at the end of 2015, and then we're going to see some more, return tickets for the start of 2016, and it can make our books look good for 2 years. Do they
It
do
doesn't
that at
really,
all?
what they've done, it's very interesting. They've actually pushed it out of their 2015 fiscal year. It's in their 2016 fiscal year.
All right,
Because,
so-
again, they're on a different calendar. I don't know what companies do this, but they do their fiscal years.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they did it. Maybe they really do want to make sure they tweak it just perfectly.
All right, Patrice Sikora. Patrice, always a pleasure talking to you, and we'll get with you on Monday morning, my lady.
You got it.
All right, Patrice Sikora, the Wall Street Journal, every morning here at 5:21. Joining me in the studio with our Support the Enlisted project as our radiothon continues, Carla Winter-Schultz and Tony Teravainen. Did I get it close? Am I right?
Got it.
Got it. Attaboy. We've got Tony is the board of directors chair, and Carl is the president of STEP, and you guys have a wealth of experience either in the business side or the nonprofits. Both of you with some deep ties to the military as well. And we talked about some of the need that happens for some of our enlisted. But Tony, you kind of mentioned some of the transitional support that's offered. And Carla, if I can talk to you for a moment about how that comes into play, what is it you see as people are transitioning out? New veterans, we call them, right? New veterans, they're transitioning out. What is it that really they go, okay, here I am without the support of the military behind me, now what?
That's exactly right. About a year ago, we added support to those who have recently discharged within the past 12 months after active duty service. And what we're seeing is that they're having trouble making way. They've saved. They need to find housing. They need to put down the deposit, the first month's rent. They find themselves late on their car payments, their utilities. We had one client saying that, I can eat top ramen, but I've got to feed my kids. And some of these applications that are coming in can range upward of $10,000 in requests.
Oh, my goodness.
Just to help them get over that hump from the military life, because you take away that ID card and it's the housing's gone, the dental's gone, the medical's gone, the commissary's gone, and all of a sudden reality hits them in the face.
And earlier on the program, Tony made the point that a number of the people are one broken refrigerator away from being in some dire straits. But I imagine if somebody goes in, they've got a toothache, or they need a root canal, and all of a sudden, like you mentioned, Carla, they don't have the dental any longer. Boy, that'll put you in a bad spot real fast, won't it?
It will.
How many of the people that are transitioning out do you see that come in and they have already done everything they can, including maxing out credit cards to try to get by? Do you see that a lot?
I would say 100%
Is
of
that
the
right?
veterans, yes.
Yeah.
Especially those that have some sort of a disability, and they're going through the rehabilitation piece, and they've used up all their savings. The VA hasn't come in yet, and that's where we step in to help out and make sure that they've got the funds necessary to make it through until they get that first rehabilitation tech.
It's one of those, eye-opening moments that we're going to have, I think, throughout the program this morning. We're going to find out more and more that people who have not been in, or people that have come out and they've had their other fortunes line up differently, that maybe are going to have their eyes open a little bit today. And again, go to Kogo.com. And you can go to keyword STEP, or as soon as Kogo.com opens, you'll see Linda's beautiful face and my ugly mug. Just click on Linda. That's the easiest thing to do. Just click on Linda. What, are you uncomfortable all of a sudden?
No,
Okay,
not at all.
good. Click on Linda. Give Linda a good click in this morning, and then make a donation there at Kogo.com. You can also call, if you'd prefer to make a donation over the phone, I understand, 858-695-6810. Again, 858-695-6810. Producer Joey has that number on hand, too. If you happen to forget it, you can always call our normal hotline, 800-600-KOGO. Yo-thon with STEP, which is the Support the Enlisted project, and welcoming into the studio now, Philip